Hello everybody, I'm Sharpened Blade, and today we're going to take a look at the Steel Wheel Chatbot. This is my favorite, well, I shouldn't say my favorite, this is definitely one of my favorite, I say top 5 budget knives in my collection currently. I've had this knife for a while now. I'm very surprised that I haven't done a video on this yet, so here we go. So it has a blade length of 3.15 inches. Blade thickness is 0.12 inches. Handle length 4.33 inches. The handle thickness is 7/16 of an inch, so it's just a little bit less than half an inch thick. Overall length is 7.5 inches, and it weighs 3.1 ounces. Now to compare that to the Rat 2 and the Rat 1, you see that it comes in kind of in between the two, a little bit closer in size to the Rat 2, especially in the handle dimension, but a little bit longer blade length, slightly. Now, I really like the look of this knife. It's kind of, I wouldn't say plain, it's pretty simple, and it's got a nice pattern in the G10. But the blade shape, you know, I like a good drop point. This is a drop point blade. It's a D2 steel, flat grind, satin finish, so it shows lots of fingerprints, as you can see. G10 scales. It doesn't have liners. It has like a liner for the liner lock, and I will say the liner for the liner lock is pretty thick, you know, considering that there's no liners in the rest of it. But yeah, you can see it's just G10 on this side, on the show side, and then just enough of a liner to give you a liner lock on the lock side. But yeah, the overall shape of this knife is very, I don't know how to describe it, very knifey. Like, this looks like a knife, if you know what I mean. Like, it's, I wouldn't say it's aggressive. It kind of has a tactical flair to it. Now, it comes in black stonewash, which looks more tactical than the satin does. It also comes with green G10, but I like black G10 better than green G10. And the black blade version still has the silver hardware, so I didn't really think that looked good, so that's why I got this one. Yeah, it's just got that nice knife shape to it. I wouldn't call it hard use, but because it is a fairly thin blade stock, you know, I wouldn't call that a hard use knife, and it has a fairly dainty tip, but it is great for slicing. It's very sharp. It came very sharp. It no longer has the factory edge on it. I sharpened it, but it's great for cutting through cardboard. It's nice and comfortable, even though it is a little thin. It's still comfortable, but that makes it a real joy to carry in the pocket. Once it goes in the pocket, especially at the angle that the pocket clip is set at, your hand slides right by it. You don't have to worry about the flipper tab. And the thinness of it just makes it really nice to carry. So even though it, you know, from a distance, it looks like a fairly aggressive knife, kind of a tactical look, it is very nice for EDC. It has a nice action. It's on bearings. It's not drop shutty, but it's very snappy. It has a nice sound to it, and you can see the lock up there, right around right around 50%. So it's got a really good lockup. No blade play whatsoever. And like I say, it's not drop shutty, but it's smooth. It's not really a fidgety knife, but it'll get the job done. It's something you can rely on, which is nice for a knife. You want to be able to rely on your knives. And even though it doesn't have full liners in it, I mean, there's a little bit of flex. Just a tiny little bit. You probably can't even see it. But just a tiny little bit of flex. But like it's strong. It's not going to break on you. It's a really well made knife. Like I say, these look cool. They add actually a pretty decent amount of grip, because like I don't know if that actually showed you anything or not, but like it does add a pretty decent amount of grip without being uncomfortable. So I like that. Also has jimping up here and a little bit on the liner lock, a little bit right there on the flipper tab, which you don't really need. It's got a pretty nice, like I said, the action's good. The way this is shaped, you kind of pull it holds your finger, and that allows the pressure of your finger to rocket right out of there. So no complaints there. Yeah, so you got a good grip when you're holding it. The pocket clip, don't even feel it, or I don't feel it. It's flattened out here. It's not sticking up like some ramps are on knives, so that's nice that it's just flattened out like that. The screws are flat. The pocket clip itself isn't recessed into the scale, but that's okay, because since there's not screws sticking up, there's still room for material in there, which is great. You can have it on the left. It's set up for left-hand carry too. You can't carry it tip down, but okay. That's fine. And yeah, everything, there's very minimal, like there's hardly any screws. You just have the pivot screw, body screw back here, a couple of pillars here, which add a little bit of strength to the knife itself. And it's nice that they threw in a little pop of red there, just as a little, it's very dirty, I should have cleaned this. But just as a little pop of color, it's nice to see that. And you can put a lanyard on there if you wish to. Now, the tip looks like it's kind of close to the end, but you can't. You almost can, but you can't. I don't think you'd ever cut your finger on that, so don't worry about that. Your fingers can't get close to it here at all, so to the blade, I mean, so you don't have to worry about that. The pocket clip is, interesting looking, different design, which is nice. It doesn't have a satin finish on it, it's more of a stone wash. Same with the hardware, it's more of a stone wash look. It's not really shiny, which is nothing to complain about there. Sorry about that. My dog started barking, so there's a bit of a jump here. But it's okay, because I kind of lost my train of thought and I was rambling anyway. So basically, I really like this knife. It's an older model. It's been around for a few years, but I haven't seen it much on YouTube, and I haven't seen very much at all on Instagram. So I figured it'd still be worth making a video on this, because more people need to check this out. And like I said, this is one of my favorite budget EDCs, because the overall looks of it, it's simple yet attractive. It's got a nice swedge up here, just nice clean lines, cool design in the G10, which actually serves a purpose. It adds nice grip. It's got a nice snappy action. Not polishetti, but it's smooth. It sounds nice when it locks up. It's got a strong detent, but it's dialed in nicely for a flipper. Feels comfortable in hand, both hands. And I think it's a pretty good value too. It's $59.49 USD. That's an odd price, but I think it's well worth $59.49. I think the value is there. It's got a nice little pop of color here, and I know you don't really see it unless you look at it at the right angle, but I just kind of like that little attention to detail. And overall, it's just, I know that I can put this in my pocket and I'm going to be able to cut whatever I need to cut within reason. So, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you, if you like the look of this knife, make sure you check one out. And it's definitely worth giving it a try, and it's definitely worth being in your collection. So again, thanks for watching the video. Take care.